The long-running show on CBS, Blue Bloods, is a pretty serious one. With its staid plots and formal casts, it almost seems like they don't have fun at all. Surprisingly, this is not the case with the cast and crew of the series, as they do have a lot of fun while filming the series. Let's take a look at the most recent one involving the legend Tom Selleck and other hilarious behind-the-scenes moments and bloopers. First up, we have Season 13 Behind the Scenes featuring Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck has been a very common face on our TV screens for a long time. In his over 5 decades of appearing on the screen in our favorite dramas, he has developed into some sort of enigma people often fall in love with. Even if you do not want to fall in love with the man himself, his mustache is going to have you second-guessing. Our MAGNUM P.I. star has a rich mustache that just looks amazing, and in the glimpse of the set Donnie Wahlberg showed us on his Instagram channel, it is evident that Selleck is very aware of the effect of his mustache on people, and didn't want people to miss out on it despite wearing a face mask. And what better location to lighten the mood with his face mask emblazoned with his lower face than at the dinner table. The camera went around the dinner table and then finally panned to Selleck's position at the head of the table, sitting nonchalantly with his hilarious face mask that looked so complete with his iconic mustache on it. It was so hysterical to see that it makes fans wonder how the cast and crew must have reacted to it when they first saw it. Wahlberg captured the video with news about Season 13 coming out soon. We can't wait for the new season to be out, but a certain aspect of the new season people are anticipating are the hilarious bloopers and behind-the-scenes moments. Fans just can't get enough of them. Let's check out other fun BTS scenes and bloopers together. We have Erin's BTS photo from Season 12. Just to provide some context, Erin had a mysterious stalker who monitored her every move, but were not yet aware of the identity of the stalker. So as we waited for the release of the 19th episode of the season, the picture was released. Viewers of the drama had to wait for 3 weeks for the release of that episode. However, as they waited, speculations arose about how Erin was going to deal with the stalker. Was she going to get the help of Danny and Anthony? The BTS photo seemed like she did, and she actually did. She enlisted Anthony and Danny, her brother, to help her with the investigation. The duo was to help check out the link of her office's role in the sentencing of the stalker. It turned out the stalker was just out of prison after 12 years and was suddenly too interested in her movements. Next up are bloopers about the amount of food the cast has to consume while filming. This might seem quite easy at first glance, but it really is not, considering the number of times the cast has to eat while filming. For instance, take a look at their famous and fan favorite dinner scenes. The entire family has to come together to eat at the table often through each season. These scenes are very fun, and it's really great to see how dedicated the creators of the show are to making sure the family dinner remains a very important part of the series. Even when members of the family are mad at each other, they still come together to eat at the family dinner. However, as interesting as the family dinner scene might be, they're actually very hard to act. Not just because of the large amounts of food they'll have to eat repeatedly, but because a large part of the cast is there, and they can be very chaotic together, causing one another to make mistakes with their lines or fall out of character. Even Selleck described these scenes as very hard to film. He acknowledged that they are his favorites, but it can be difficult just sitting at the table and eating food for about 8 hours sometimes. Ultimately, food is an important part of daily living and has to be included in the show. One of the hilarious bloopers was when Will Estes groaned that he had reached his peanut limit. Well, who can blame him? Eddie and Jamie were having a dialogue and had to eat peanuts as they talked. Unfortunately, the cast was having a bad day, and they had to keep retaking the scene, and poor Estes couldn't bear it anymore. He groaned out loud, "I'm reaching my peanut maximum." Talking about the famous dinner scenes, you might have to check out Wahlberg's infectious personality. Of all the characters on the show, you can easily classify Donnie's character, Danny, as being the most serious one. However, his alter ego is actually the exact opposite of him. Donnie is known for making the members of the crew laugh a lot with his numerous antics that come so easy to him. One of his very famous ones is what he has to do to get in the mood. In the dinner scene, he makes a theatrical swipe at his face in an effort to quickly switch to Danny's character. This works for him, but most times sends his co-stars into a fit of laughter. His antics don't end there to torment his fellow actors. He sometimes laughs at them while they mess up their lines, and he won't even stop at just laughing. He would stretch stretch it as much as he can just to torment them further. If you've seen the Uncle Grandpa blooper, you'll understand better. And when there aren't situations available to torment them with, he creates one. This man is just a whole new vibe. He really brightens up the set. At one point, he was trying to tear a page out of a book in the library, but needed his co-star to cough at just the right time to cover up the ripping sound. On the first try, they both did it at completely different times, making both sounds very distinct. So Donnie asked his partner to make the sound again, but this time around, he was unable to rip the book. It was like the book proved invincible and was unwilling to be ripped. He then told his co-star to continue coughing, and after coughing for about 5 minutes, the latter got tired. The scene was so funny that the crew and cast members had no choice but to burst into laughter. It seems the actor is not only funny, but also has a good heart. Maya Moynihan, the face of Erin, might be a very big part of the drama, but she actually refused the role initially, but Donnie had persuaded her to go for it. Guess the incentive. He promised to give her his paychecks if the series didn't film in New York. What a stroke of luck for Donnie that the series stayed in New York. Then we have the cast missing their lines. The series has a very serious legal atmosphere, and combining that with interconnecting plot lines, it's unlikely the creators would want the cast to mess up their lines. Therefore, it is very important that they strictly stick to the script, and with strict lines, mistakes are bound to happen from time to time. There was no room for improvisation, which must have been harder for the actors, but it really turned out to create a lot of hilarious bloopers and BTS moments. At some point, Maya opened the door and went, "Hi, what's up?" Then she suddenly ended that with "said the wrong line, bye-bye," and closed the door in the face of the visitor. That was just gold. It was really hilarious. Plus her face when she realized she said the wrong thing was to die for. Another example happened with Vanessa Ray and Will Estes, and that ended in a funny episode of forgetting lines again. This time around, they kind of passed a message across with a fun mistake. Vanessa was talking about a criminal but forgot her lines, and Estes went with "criminal minds?" Then Vanessa apologized, noting that that was a different show. "Babe, we're aware that's a different show. We know what you did there. Criminal Minds and Blue Bloods have been placed against each other very often, and what's fun is that they're even on the same network. Blue Bloods has been able to make them distinctive, not just with their storylines, but with their favorable workplaces as well. To promote a more comfortable atmosphere, they allow their cast and crew members to bring their pets. Imagine a mini zoo where you film. Awkward situations are bound to happen, and that's what we viewers feed on. At one point, Donnie was having a very serious conversation, but suddenly broke character, scratched his head, and said hello to the cute dog at his feet. The cameraman was generous enough to let us see what made him lose his lines. It was so adorable and funny. It would be a crime to end the BTS flashback without mentioning Selleck's hilarious out-of-character facial expressions. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching.